Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Overlay a Poker Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Co., the predictions of the future.
Wow.
Yeah, I just
no
thought of that.
CCG, no Texas, just me?
Screw them.
This is great.
They ain't paying me any money right now.
That's true. Neither am I, though, so.
Yeah, good point. Episode 37, everybody. We're going to get better. My New Year's resolution for podcasting is that I'm going to be better about giving us the actual,
title of the episode,
like we talked about it, like an opening essay of here's our outline. Here's our 3 points we're going to cover today. Today, episode 37 is 2021 predictions. From poker to sports to regional to whatever else we can think of, and just basically it's our complaining episode of 2020 since it's the last episode, because today's New Year's Eve.
Today's New Year's Eve. I'm really pumped about this New Year's Eve, actually.
Are you?
I've never really been excited to see a year turn over. Not that it's going to all change and everything turns better tomorrow, but
yeah, I keep telling Lindsay.
I know. It is nice to get out of it, though.
Here's the funny thing, though. This New Year's Eve, to me, is like the second most important New Year's Eve of my life. It's dramatic, right?
What was the first?
Come on, guess. I am 40 years old. It's 2020. So what happened
Y2K?
20 years ago? Yes, Y2K.
Yeah, I guess I was 10.
I can finally tell my Y2K story because it is fucking awesome. And I'm even going to drop an F-bomb because that's how awesome the story is. So anyways, 20-year-old Ken.
So instead of predicting 2021, we're going back.
We're gonna start with going backwards. It's like a prequel. This is like the New Year's Eve episode, resolutions, predictions, all the cool stuff that's going to happen in 21. Because frankly, 21 cannot be worse than 20. It's impossible. So, anyways, 2000, year 2000. I'm only 20 years old. I didn't turn 21 until the next year, so couldn't do anything for that. So I was like, that kind of sucks, but whatever. It's still cool. 20 years old on that day. We end up going to the bars at University of Iowa because that's where Bert went.
Uh-huh.
Is that where Bert went? Had to have been.
Yep.
That might have been his freshman year. Is that true? No, I went with other friends. Bert wasn't there. All right, so the stories come back to me. It'll get worse, I promise, before it gets better. Anyways, I guess Bert wasn't there because if I was 19 or 20, Bert was definitely not going to bars at that point. So anyways, we end up going to the University of Iowa. We're hanging out. I'm in college, so it's great. Everything's exciting. I'm not 21 yet, so we had to go to these 18 and over bars, which they had in Iowa City, and then you just washed off the X. Do you remember doing that in college?
Yeah, you can get in the bar at 18.
Yeah, what a great security idea. Hey, let's take all the under 21 peeps and just put big X's on their hands that wash off in the bathroom without.
And then throw them into a bar and tell them they can't drink.
Right. Yeah, it's like saying, "Hey, poker players, here's a bunch of poker chips and cards, but don't do anything." I predict that's not going to happen. So, anyways. Everybody was so worried about Y2K. Like, what's going to happen? Is the world going to explode? Nobody has any idea. And it was 3, 2, 1. And we were at this bar called One-Eyed Jack's in downtown Iowa City. It's right in that Ped Mall area. If you've ever been down there, it's pretty cool. There's a bunch of bars that kind of let out into the same street, except the street's blocked off. It's just for pedestrians. There's no cars that go up and down the street. So it's a really cool place. There's 20 bars. It's nuts. Anyways, One-Eyed Jack's. It was up on the second floor. I don't know if it was the bartender's idea or maybe the owner, but legit, it was 3, 2, 1, ha! And then the guy turned off the lights, hit the circuit breaker, and all the lights went off. And it was, who would have done that? Obviously, it was fake because nothing happened on Y2K. It was such a joke that we all thought the world was going to implode. But absolutely nothing happened. But how freaking cool is that the guy literally turned off the lights and scared the shit out of everybody?
All the power just
gone.
It
was not, and again, it wasn't the lights went off. It was boom, legit. He just hit the main circuit breaker, and then the whole thing. It was awesome.
Yeah, the music's off, and
oh my god, it was great.
Off, and the
girls
refrigerators were off.
Right, yeah. Girls are screaming, and just it was nuts. It was so cool. And then 5 seconds later, it turned on, and then it was haha, joking. I thought it was really funny at the time, but now that I think about it, that probably wasn't a great joke for somebody to pull.
No, but it was a college town.
Yeah, nobody cared. It was fun.
Yeah, nobody cared. But
And
That's
then, like,
pretty sweet.
in all honesty, like, at what point, like, is it Eastern time zone should happen first? Like, Central?
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know.
Like if you're in Hawaii, like you got a 4 hour head start on the world ending.
Right. Yeah. Like,
The world ending. 'cause it's
that's
only 9
kind of
o'clock.
legit. Like, that should be like Hawaii's main reason for like relocating to Hawaii, not the weather or the beach or the cool laid back attitude. It should be like, hey, if the world ends, you're going to get a 4-hour jump here in Hawaii. So, bonus. I should write for Hawaiian Travel Magazine. I don't think that's
Ooh,
a
they
thing.
could be our newest sponsor.
Newest sponsor, Hawaii Travel.
Maybe they'll pay us because nobody else.
Relocate Hawaii. Yeah, if anybody out there owns a business that listens to CCG radio or the overlay, just in general, let me know. And like, we'll do some really cheap ads. Be like, Bill's window cleaning service for $8 a day. You can get your windows cleaned. It's great. That's it. That could be like,
That's it. There's your ad.
just
There's
Venmo
your
me
ad.
$6. Done. I'll put it on every episode from like now and through the end of the month. All right, this is a real thing. I'm not joking. 2021 predictions from Ken, number 1. I'm going to start selling advertising space during the podcast. But like in a cool way. We'll make it like,
It's a good spot.
yeah, we'll make it like fun. You know, like relocate to Hawaii so you get a 4-hour head start on the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, I mean that's you
That's a
sold me.
no-brainer.
You sold me.
All right, Brando.
You know, Y2K. I was 10 years old at a
Yeah.
party trying to drink a case of Squirt.
Yeah, I don't know why
Like-
you would pick Squirt, but that's kind of awesome.
It's because they only at this the parent the Halloween the New Year's Eve party that my parents would always go to would be the only access I would have to Squirt like for the whole year because my parents didn't have regular pop in the house.
Oh.
So when it's kind of like my version of alcohol. Like I got there, I was like, all right, I'm gonna start pounding.
Do you remember Jolt Cola?
Jolt. I remember Jolt and
Like the
there was
original Red
another
Bull.
one. Oh yeah, I remember Jolt.
That stuff was
When
nuts.
you'd pop the cans and they'd go
Oh, yeah. So good.
the caps.
So good.
Anyways,
it was Adderall before
2021.
Adderall happened. Yeah, 2021 predictions. Hit us, Brandon. Where do you want to start with predictions? Because we kind of talked about.
I'm going to start with sports because
Okay.
I think we have some relevant sports coming up.
Yeah, I
And
mean, Super Bowl's
I did make
on
some
its
good
way.
predictions. I said the Chiefs were going to win the Super Bowl last year, but I said that they were going to play the Bears. So
You were half
I was
right.
half right. And half
You got the
wrong.
easy one out of the way.
I did. So this year, I'm
Can you
going
give us
Seahawks.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Green
Okay.
Bay, Bears, 2 days from now. Wait, today's
Yes.
Thursday, Friday, whatever. However many days from now. Can the Bears pull out a W and get themselves that wild card spot? Or do you think they biff it like every other year the Bears do?
So I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. Bears are going to lose. They're going to cover the spread, though. So if you want to bet them, bet the Bears. They're
Nice.
going to lose, but then I think Arizona's also going to lose to the Rams, and then we're going to get in.
Oh, whoa. I didn't know that there was an alternative. Like,
Yes, if Arizona loses, we're in no matter what.
oh, there's
So we're
a light at the end of the tunnel. Cool.
There is. Now, the only issue is, well, not the only issue, but the Arizona Cardinals are playing the LA Rams. The LA Rams quarterback just had thumb surgery, so he's out.
Mm.
So it's a backup quarterback for the Rams. But Kyler Murray, who is the quarterback for Arizona Cardinals, is also out. So it's backup versus backup.
So literally anything could happen.
Neither quarterback has ever thrown a pass in the NFL.
Oh, that's awesome.
So then they're literally fighting for playoff spots.
And now, does the Rams have a chance? I mean, are they?
Rams
like,
are already in the playoffs, but
Okay.
they can bump up a seed or two, I think.
Right.
Or maybe they won the division. I don't know if the Rams have anything to play
Yeah, it
for.
doesn't matter. But
But yes, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Even if the Bears lose, the Rams win.
because
and they're
really,
in.
if I had to pick one team for the Bears to play for the playoffs, it would not be the Packers.
No.
They never seem to do well.
No, and it sucks because the Seahawks actually won last week, so now the Packers have something to play for.
Ooh.
If the Seahawks would have lost, then the Packers would have locked up the number 1 seed, rested Rodgers, and it would have been a repeat of last year. When remember, I needed the Bears to win for our 8-8 last year when we were going to punch the TV,
Yep.
and Minnesota rested their starting quarterback Kirk Cousins because they were already in the playoffs. And then the Bears won against the backup.
I do remember that. That was great. And I literally said to you,
repeat.
get ready to film this because if they miss this field goal, I'm chucking that chair right into that television.
I kind of
Good old 60-incher. It didn't happen, though. We got it.
No.
All All right, predictions.
So,
Sorry, I interrupted.
Super Bowl 2021.
You're
Good. I'm going Seahawks against the Chiefs. Seahawks winner. I like Russell Wilson.
This like in a couple of like in 6 weeks, you're predicting Seahawks and the Chiefs?
Yep.
Wow.
So Seahawks are a little bit of an underdog. The Chiefs are going to have a little bit of trouble with Buffalo. Buffalo's kind of like the hot, sexy new team that might give the Chiefs some run for their money, but I think the Chiefs are going to handle business.
Nice.
On the AFC side of things, and then the NFC side, I think the Packers are going to choke, and the Seahawks are going to make it, and then the Seahawks are going to pull off the upset and win the Super Bowl. You can get them at 12-1 on DraftKings.
So, nice. All right, Brandon's free tip of the week.
12-1.
Hit it up.
You can also bet 66-1 on the Bears
to win or
to win the Super Bowl.
I don't know.
That's lighting money on fire.
That is light money and fire. All right, off of the NFL. What else we got on sports for 2021?
I think the Cubs are going to suck.
Mm-hmm.
They're in full rebuild mode. They're scrapping everything down. They're going to suck. However, the White Sox, and I despise the White Sox, are going to be super good.
Ooh, you know me, I'm a White Sox fan.
Like 95 wins, win the AL Central.
Really?
They're going to be so good.
Wow.
So I'm hyping up the White Sox this year, and I'm a diehard Cubs fan.
I might send this clip right there to White Sox Brian personally.
Yep. I'm hyping them up. They got good young talent. They got good young pitching. They got a bomb squad. They're just so good. Like, they're what the Cubs were 5 years ago, to be honest.
Wow. I would love to see a White Sox winner.
So
just a good White Sox team. They've been so bad for so long.
They're going to be good. Like, there's just no questions asked. So I like the White Sox. And then in the NBA, really quick, I like the Lakers and LeBron to repeat and LeBron to go down as the GOAT. So we'll just leave that right there.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I will leave that right there.
Yeah, we'll just leave that right there.
Because we could do a whole episode arguing on that.
We could.
And I don't know.
Have any. We don't know any stats and stuff, but I don't really know if there's ever a right answer. I think that's what's going to come down to.
There's not. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like, you know, if Babe Ruth played today, would he be as good at, you know what I mean? Like, it's just,
it's
you
different
never
eras. And I think the way that
without a doubt, I will say LeBron James is the best player into like this generation.
Yeah,
hands down, no doubt about it. But if you compare him to Michael Jordan, it's a lot harder for me.
So I think a lot defines what we define as like the greatest, because like that TikTok said, I think LeBron will have a better career and Jordan will go down as the greatest. Like, LeBron will have the greatest career of all time, where like what he did will never be matched in terms of years. Like, he's in his 17th year and he's the best player in the NBA. I mean, Jordan only played 12 years.
Yeah.
14. I don't even know.
With a break in between.
Right. So, you know, he's going to have the most points, the most rebounds, the most assists, everything in the playoffs is going to be all LeBron. He's going to have all the records.
His career is the longest by far and the most significant, which I guess if you went by those standards, like, you'd say that's got to be the greatest of all time.
11 of the last 12 finals or something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
And just the miles to be playing 30 extra games every season because you're always in the finals.
Yeah.
So all that stuff, but then I mean, Jordan's 6-0. What are you gonna do? How can you can't really beat that?
Yeah, like when they laugh at the Game 7.
Yeah.
Like, what's a Game 7?
Yeah. What's a Game 7?
That's great. I don't know. Never played one. All right. Sports predictions done. I like it. Seahawks, White Sox, Lakers. That's what you should be jamming your money on. Since we are proud Blackhawks tickets, season ticket owners that have gone to a game, it's great. If there's anything more perfect in my life, and I do run good, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. Like, I live a pretty sweet, I got a sweet gig going here, so I'm not complaining by any way, shape, or form, even though this year kind of sucked. But like, man, what kind of run bad is that we get that season ticket, book it, and then like a month later, they're like, oh yeah, BT Dubs, no more season whatsoever. And here's a box of Garrett's popcorn for your troubles.
And not only that, we gave away all the early season tickets to all the CCG players. And
which
like,
actually,
we'll go later in the season when the games matter.
Correct, when they're more fun. And the game, like, yeah, for sure.
After the winter. We'll wait till the weather to warm up. We'll go in March. We'll go in April, hit the playoff run.
Hit the playoffs. Yeah. And I will say, though, that the Blackhawks, like, CCG promo, those worked. Like, they rocked. They People really liked it. Like, it was fun. So we're definitely going to do that again this year.
The same seats, so it's like if somebody wins again, like
Yeah.
Cashner and Nancy won like 3 times.
I
Like,
know.
We know where we're going.
Well,
Like,
Mike
these are our
won
seats.
once, and then Nancy won once, and then I think Mike won again or something. And
Yeah.
people were like, "Well, is this rigged?" I was like, "No, it's just
Like there's literally 40 players.
It's random. They have twice as many chances as you guys winning because I think Kent and Anna won one time too, didn't they?
They did.
Again, same difference. It's like they're going together. Like they've got 2 people. They've got 2 raffle tickets to everybody else's 1. Like, of course, they had double the chance to win.
Yeah.
And they play every single tournament. Like, they're astronomically a larger probability to win than a guy who comes and plays one time. Like, don't be mad, bro. I'm broing a lot this year.
That's all right. It's almost over.
All right, sports predictions done. Poker predictions. Where are we at on poker predictions?
Oof.
Or where do you want to start next? I just kind of threw out poker.
Yeah, let's. I mean, I'm interested to hear what you think of poker predictions.
I think in 2021, my poker prediction is that there will be 4 World Series of Poker main events to top this year's 3. I mean, you kidding me? Every year, every 10 minutes, it's like next WSOP being a champion. 1, it was online. 2, that means like 80% of people can't actually play in it. B, seriously, how could we have 2 main events? Like, it's not a main event. The main event is what it is. Like, I almost feel like Barry Bonds' like record for home runs, how there was like an asterisk where it's like, well, he may or may not have been doing steroids, so like it's his record because it counted, but yet like it's like kind of smudged because of the fact that there's like this discrepancy in it, but they can't actually prove it. I feel like
it's like how he's not in the Hall of Fame. Like he has the record, and
correct.
Like if anybody had the record and there wasn't an asterisk, they'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep. So they gave him the record. He doesn't get to go to the Hall of Fame. Although I did see a thing on Instagram where a girl was wearing like Barry Bonds is like HOF material or something, which I thought was kind of random. But maybe that's why subconsciously I just threw him out there. But like I feel like this sucks. Like they've kind of ruined a little bit for me the main event. Like it's not the main event. Like if it doesn't happen in July at the World Series in a live tournament, freeze out. It would be like changing the main event to being like a re-entry tournament or a rebuy tournament. Like it's not the same thing.
And I'll tell you what, I had nothing to watch or root for or pay attention to the last 6 months, and I didn't pay attention to any of those main events because it just didn't seem real. And I watched all the main events. I watched the live streams. I watched the final tables. Like every single year, I'm invested in the main event. This year, all of them, I was just like, man.
It's because they didn't really happen.
Right.
Like I get the idea of playing online. It's like this hybrid thing that they tried at the end. And I get it. The WSOP is a company. They're trying to, make the money that they normally would have made on the live events, which they are just gone. Like that, their entire revenue stream is just gone.
I mean,
correct. I give them credit for the ideas, but they should have called it something different. I think to call it like the main event winner of the WSOP is like not what they should have called it. They should have called it the hybrid winner, the 2020 winner, the COVID champion. Like we did 3 tournaments. There's 4 golf tournaments in Chicago that I play in every year. It's like our 4 majors. Like it's super fun. I love playing in them. I've been playing in them for probably about 10 years now, off and on for the most part. And of course they didn't do them this year because of COVID, which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. So we did like our own unofficial Cook County Amateur Champion. We called it the COVID County Champion. And then we did the COVID City Championship. And then we did the COVID Midwest Championship because these are all like the normal names that they have. But we just did it on our own and invited. It was super fun. But like, it was funny. I was talking to my buddy who's, never won one, and he won one this year. And he's like, does that count? And I was like, yeah, I mean, it counts. Like, you're always going to have an asterisk because it wasn't an official win. It would be like winning a tournament at Augusta National and it not being the Masters, right?
Yeah.
It would be like playing the Masters at a different golf course and calling that guy a Masters champion. Like, no, it's not the same thing. Like, you didn't play a live, like, it's not, I don't know. I'm very against this idea of calling it the main. I think they had a great idea with this hybrid and doing like I think that was a really cool idea. I think they ruined it by calling it the main event. They should have called it something else.
Or if they wouldn't have done that one in the summer first.
That's the other thing. It's like, are you serious? Like you already claim to have a main event. And now you're doing another main event? Like, come on.
Yeah.
All right, prediction on the spot right now. Odds on, what are your odds, or what are the odds of the WSOP happening this summer in Las Vegas? What are your thoughts, Brandon?
Schedule time in May?
Like
June,
starting
July?
June, July, and then when does it normally end? Like, because the main events typically
like the 4th of July.
starts like the 4th of July weekend, and then like the main event runs like that entire month, right?
It's basically on May 31st, July 15th. But
it is.
all
Okay.
of July is basically the main event. But yeah.
Right.
Oh,
All right. So what are your thoughts? Do you
I'm feeling good.
like what are your
Even
odds?
money.
Even money?
Or even higher. Minus 300 that it happens.
Wow. And you're basing that on the fact that now that we're December 31st, 2020, that the vaccinations will be kind of caught up by then. Things will be better. Numbers will be way down. I mean, we had this conversation when I was shoveling the driveway the other day. Thanks for doing that, by the way. It was like you were there with me, helping me shovel the driveway.
I was trying to be there.
And you were saying, like, you think this is the high point of the numbers. Like, we're at the peak of the mountain here, and everything's down from here.
Yeah.
Because you got better.
Maybe like a week or two from now. But
yeah, for sure. Middle of January might be the high number. You might catch up a little bit, but at some point we are very near the top of this, and it's going to get better. Even though the president-elect happens to not think the same thing.
Well, I don't think that they can just tell us that it's going to be
Why not?
all okay.
Why is that wrong? Why can't they just say, "Hey, things are getting better"?
Because Trump did that for 6 months.
Yeah, but like I don't blame him for that, and like I don't want to get into like those
politics.
types. Yeah, I don't want to get into
either.
that.
I get it. You want to hear what you want to hear.
I don't want somebody who's that in charge to just tell me, "You fucked. Go home. That's it. Pack up your stuff. Move to Canada." Like I feel like that's what. It's like it's awful. We're screwed. The worst is not behind us. How could the worst not be? We're gonna literally.
I mean, to be fair,
gone.
It would have been really bad in March and April and May to just like tell us that we were going to be in this exact spot in December. Like at least there was hope that like, and I know it didn't. Like he ended up being wrong, and like we are still here in December. But like, it was a different mindset if he was just like, yeah, this year's shot. Like talk to me in 2021. You know what I mean? Like it would have been a different mental battle, I think, than we. But I think they're just proceeding with caution. They don't want to get us too excited.
I don't mind the optimism. It's just like,
yeah, me neither. But there's just it's such a logistical hurdles and stuff, and I know it's
be like a reg going to play the main event, the actual main event at the WSOP, and then being like, yeah, man, you got this. You could do this. Like we all know that the chances of you winning are like not good.
Yeah.
They're bad. But like, don't be like, why are you wasting $10,000? I will say this.
That.
It's like one thing my dad always does. Like, guy buys a boat. Everybody knows you buy a boat. It's like the worst thing ever in the world. Best 2 days of a boat owner is the day you buy it, the day you sell it. Like, that's it, right?
That's it.
And like, or like a guy buys a motorcycle. My dad's like the most positive person on that. He's like, dude, that's awesome. Way to go. That's so cool. Tell me about it. What kind of, he's like always, he never wants to like dump on somebody's parade when they're excited about doing something, even if you think that's the dumbest thing in the world. I don't see that as a flaw. I don't see that as a bad personality trait to talk to somebody and be like, hey, if they're excited, I'm excited. Like people should be excited about the vaccinations kind of working and going forward. Like let them be a little excited. Like we deserve a little excitement at this point, or a little hope or something. Just be like, I think the worst is not behind us. Yes. Like, yeah, great. Why don't you just take a dump all over my parade? Appreciate
I don't think
that.
they're going to give us any positive news until like we all know that it's already been positive.
Yeah, and it's over. Anyway,
right,
so Brandon's giving better than even money that the WSOP happens this year at.
Oh, yeah. And I think, my personal timeline is May, June. We are going to be Gucci.
Gucci. For the older folks out there, Gucci means good or great.
Or fire.
Fire. Also something I didn't and still don't know how to use correctly.
Although, these are the words that we use. There's like another vocabulary that like the younger kids are now using that I'm trying, like cap and like you're capping. That means you're lying. Like I don't know.
You're capping?
They use like the blue baseball cap. It's crazy.
At some point in my life, I've now turned into that old guy like, goddamn kids, quit saying stuff like that.
I know. This is where I'm at too. I'm only 30. I'm like, oh my gosh, what are these kids talking about? Like, how stupid are you? And that was me 8 years ago.
Yep.
So
we used to say things like, oh, snap.
Yeah. Oh, snap.
Snap. Damn. And that was like, damn. Yeah, it was great. Oh, snap. Good one. I don't know. Anyways, 2021.
That's the 90s.
WSOP going to happen.
I think now the question I have for you is, what do you think about the CCG timeline? Honestly, not optimistically, since you own the company and want there to be events tomorrow. What are we thinking there?
I mean, I'm basing
this is kind of the most up in the air. This is like, it's really up in the air. Like, this is our own opinion. Like, we have no idea.
Yeah, there's nothing to base this on, because it's not like the governor's given us any kind of inclination of what's going to happen. I think he will give. I will say two things. One, I think he will give us a much more concrete timeline and an idea of where numbers need to be in order for things to kind of go back to being open again. I don't think we're going to go from 0 people at events to 50 like we did in July after the first quarantine. I think it's going to start significantly slower. I think it'll open up at at best 25-person events again.
It might even do like a 10.
It might even be a 10, which at this point, we might actually try to do a 10-person event. I kind of have a plan of how we can do one cash game and like a 4-handed sit and go or something. I don't know. I've got some ideas.
Plus, I think like kind of a side note is, since we should be raising and going 10 to 25 to 50 to 100 to full capacity, right, as opposed to declining where we went 50, 25, 10, who knows what's going to happen next. It's a little bit easier to have a starting point at 10 people, knowing that we're going to go up, right, as opposed to like trying to run 10-person events, not knowing if we're even going to be able to run in the next week.
Again, I think we're going to I think my prediction, which is a good prediction, is that we will have better information starting the Monday after. So like, tomorrow is January 1, and then so Monday is the 4th, so the 11th. I think by January 11th, there'll be some kind of idea of a timeline. I think that's enough time. It's 11. It's almost 2 weeks after New Year's Eve, right? Yeah. I think they'll give us an idea like, hey, in the next couple of days, we're going to find out some numbers. So I think realistically, we will be back to doing some small events, very small events. I'm hoping by February 1st. I think that's realistic. Feb 1.
Yeah.
I think that they'll kind of open stuff back up. I'm trying to look at my calendar right now to see like date-wise. Yeah, I mean, it could be the last weekend of January, the 29th, 30th, 31st. That might be it. So it could be 1 month from now. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4 weekends, and then we would have our next events. That might be it. Or it could be the first weekend of February, that 5th, 6th, 7th. Now that I'm thinking about it, we might be screwed until mid-February.
Oh, why is that?
Well, I was just looking at it. If they open up January... So here's the thing. And again, I don't know. I don't have anything to base on this. Because I talked to Lindsay about it, my wife, and I was like, she's like, well, they'll probably wait until after New Year's and then they'll open back up, which I think is a very real possibility. The other problem I find with that is they can find a date or something to screw up the numbers or claim that the numbers are going to get screwed up. For example, New Year's Eve. There's no way we're doing anything before or after New Year's Eve. So it's like January 21st is probably the first possible opening day. That's 3 weeks after New Year's Eve, right?
Right.
All right. So then what happens if they don't open up on the 21st? Then it's like, all right, do they open the weekend before that, which is like, or the weekend after that, which is the 29th, 30th, 31st? That's like the 5th weekend of January, which would have been an awesome 5 weeks of January, but we're not going to get that. So you got that, which is that's a very real possibility. I would give that to 10 to 1 odds says that could happen. Problem is then the February 6th is Super Bowl Sunday. So they really going to open us up with 10-person events, 25-person events, let bars reopen the inside because it's freezing outside. Like I'm looking at like 5 inches of snow outside of my office here. Are they really going to open us back up the weekend before Super Bowl and then be like, okay, let's have a Super Bowl party?
Probably not.
So Super Bowl might be out, which means now that pushes us into February 7th is Super Bowl. Guess what happens the weekend after that?
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, Valentine's Day. So that's like now you got a bunch of people want to go out. Now Valentine's Day versus Super Bowl, much different kind of dynamic of like drinking and house parties and stuff. Like everybody has a house party or goes out. I mean, Super Bowl and New Year's Eve are probably like two of the most like everybody goes out, even if they're not like a drinker or a football fan.
Yeah,
or
you just go somewhere and
you just do it. It's just like it's an American pastime. It's just something you do, right? Everybody kind of celebrates in some way, shape, or form St. Patrick's Day, even if you're not Irish. Doesn't matter. So my problem is if we do the 14th, it's like maybe that's more of a couples thing, so you don't really get house parties. So we might be looking at mid-February. They might even play it safe and do it till then. My problem is, on the other side, is that if they wait that long, like we're going to be down to like no restaurants anyways, so who really cares about opening up early or not?
Yeah.
I mean, being closed another mid-November to all of December, all of January, and half of February. I mean, you're talking about, what, another 3 months?
Yep.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 months. I really don't think they could go past anything further than that Valentine's Day weekend.
Yeah, and I
Things
think
have to
like
open
by
up at
that
point.
time we will have gone up and over the top of the hill
Right.
and on the way back down. And then like I was saying earlier, when we go down, like it's kind of going to be fast and kind of going to be hard, and you're going to know that it's not going to go back up.
Right.
So there's going to be absolutely no excuse, not excuse, but like the people.
There's going to be no reason to go backwards.
Yeah, so not only that, like the people are going to now like see the light at the end of the tunnel. They're going to see the numbers going down. Like they're just going to have to open up something,
right?
Because the people aren't going to take it anymore.
No,
like we're past, we're over, we're on the way down. Like let's go.
So I think either CCG's first event will be January 22nd, or if it's not January 22nd, it will be February 19th.
See, my only thing about, and that sucks because my only thing about January 22nd or 7th, whatever one you just said,
22nd,
is they're going to be making that call probably 4 to 7 days earlier, which now puts us at the middle of January, which in theory should be the all-time worst for the raw numbers looking at them. You
asked me the earliest. I think that's the earliest. I think realistically it's either the 22nd, the 29th. I think there's zero chance that they open up on Super Bowl weekend.
I agree.
I don't think that happens. So it's
maybe
like
Valentine's Day because that's different.
Right. You either do 3 weeks after New Year's Eve, 4 weeks after New Year's Eve, or you wait until after Valentine's Day. Like those are your options. I don't see the state of Illinois opening up Super Bowl weekend or Valentine's Day weekend. Maybe Valentine's Day weekend is a slimmer possibility, but I think if I was a gambling man, I would say the first event is on February 19th, 18th or 19th, Thursday or Friday.
I think the only way we'd open up on Valentine's Day weekend is if like the numbers actually like really looked good. Like they're like, I don't really care that it's Valentine's weekend. Like we're heading down. Like let's go. Like that would be
it's not like
scenario.
people are going to have house parties on Valentine's Day weekend, whereas like Super Bowl weekend. That's
I don't think you
definitely
can really
happen.
unleash the beast the day before the Super Bowl and expect anything less than disaster.
Yeah, I think it'll be after the Super Bowl. I think it'll be that second week of February is a realistic timeline of when we're going to start. That took me a long time to get out, but I think that's a very, very, very well thought out idea.
Yeah, that's not overly optimistic.
Yep.
And that's not Mr. Doomer that we're going to be stuck inside until April.
I just think that's the realistic timeline. I think it's going to be like the 11th or 12th is going to be the first event back, which is fine. I mean, you're talking about, here's the thing, and again, and this is, you and I are just talking, this is like half overlay, half Brandon and Ken's new politics.
This is a normal phone call.
Right.
This is just a normal phone call. You guys just are tuning in on
This is the third overlay. This is the third, just a normal Brandon and Ken spouting off, complaining to one another to make ourselves feel better. And then third is Brandon and I's new political podcast that we're starting for 2021. So we'll let you guys know about that later. But, I wish that, again, I've said this so many times, I just wish that they would give us an idea. There's nothing worse than it's like, hey, tread water. Cool. All right, tread water. How long you want me to do this? Like, I can do it for a pretty good amount of time, but like, it would be nice to know how much longer. Like you and I talk about it, riding the Peloton, which you and I both do. I like the 20-minute classes because, they're a little bit harder and faster than the 30-minute classes, but that timer in the top where it's like, oh man, I'm hitting my I'm going to die moment. And I'm like, oh, there's only 6 minutes left. Like I can go 6 more minutes. I can make it 6 minutes.
Cool down, and
I can rip through it and I can get a good quality workout and be fine. Like hitting my slow point and then looking up and going, man, I got 16 minutes left. I'm done. I'm out of here. It's like, it's hard to do. So, I mean, I feel like, it's nice to have an idea of knowing what the idea is here. Not knowing is the worst.
It is true. Now maybe they're just like taking the time to like gather up all the data and make like an educated, scientific.
That is so
response.
So optimal response there, Brando. So like, oh, sunshines and rainbows. Maybe I'll find a leprechaun too and make 3 wishes. One of them will be to relive 2020.
The problem is that they don't. Yeah, I just don't think that they don't even know right now. Yeah, nobody really knows.
Then tell us. Like, be honest with the American people. Yeah. Let us know. Hey, we don't know, guys. We don't know.
Like we got to see how the next 6 weeks comes, and then we will tell you.
Even tell me that. Tell me that. Right. Tell me that. We're gonna wait 6 weeks and then find out where we're at numbers wise, and then come up with a game plan.
Roll out a plan, and we'll roll out a plan in 6 weeks. At least we're like, okay, cool. 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Cool, we're here now. What is it?
Yeah. What's the plan?
Now we're just chilling. It's like, man, we haven't had an event since 4 weeks before Thanksgiving, and we don't really know where we're at. We're just treading water here, and they don't know where we're at. Right, now we're here making predictions.
Crazy. 2021 predictions. All right, what else we got? We were going to talk about poker. Any other poker predictions you want to talk about? I mean, we did CCG. Let's talk about, just really quick, since it's poker. Breaking news, Indiana poker. The Horseshoe is back to opening up. They're 100% coming back online with some changes. Brandon and I will maybe talk about that in a later podcast. I'm not quite sure when they get some more definitive information, but it is not a rumor. This is like an Brandon and Ken deep throat source.
Jesus.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Horseshoe will be back. They don't have a timestamp yet, but hey, they told us that they'll be back, so they're giving us information,
which we kind of knew. I mean, we had that. Nobody in their right mind thought that poker room would close.
Correct.
Like it's so busy.
But unlike the state of Illinois, the Horseshoe has said, even though we don't know what time, we will be back.
We're going to open. We just don't know when.
So that's good.
That's good. What else you got?
So I think, I really do, even though we're going to have to open up in probably February with these small events, I think April, May, June, that whole area, I mean, I'm optimistic that we're like all the way back. Like we can run like a CSOP, like at full strength in the summer.
It's funny. I'm looking at 5 CSOP trophies on my bureau. Whatever this thing's called.
We might have to run like 20. We might have to run 2 CSOPs, like one for 2020 and 2021, and then the actual one.
We could just do it in like a 3-month stretch, do like 6 weeks of 2020, like pre-CSOP, and then 2020, 21 CSOP. It'd be great.
We got to do something. Because when the events are back in full, I really think that the poker world and the room is going to be just booming and have a different atmosphere, and people are going to be excited. And
let's wrap it up with some like poker. I said we would also do some like resolutions. Do you have any resolutions that you're going to do poker related wise, like, or like goals that you want to achieve in 21? That like anything? I mean, I've got an idea if you want me to go first, but
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to play more PLO tournaments.
Like travel to them, or just like play all the ones that are available when they're here.
Yes. I want to play all of them when they're available here. So like when the
the 4 times the HPT comes,
HPT's here, MSPT now comes to Ameristar or Majestic or whatever the hell it is now. Maybe they won't be doing that since they're going to be switching to the new place. Right. I want to do that. The WSOP hopefully will be back. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Like they always have like 1 or 2 or 3 PLO tournaments. Obviously, I did really well in the last PLO tournament I played in February, which was great. So I'd like to kind of put in a little bit more time. I feel like I have my best playing ability is that particular game, not PLO cash game, but a PLO
not Hold'em tournaments. But PLO tournaments.
I don't do well at the no limit tournaments. I just can't pay attention. PLO cash games are just, for me, it's about the cards. Like I don't feel like I'm playing any. Like I'm just playing the cards. If my cards hit, I win. If my cards don't hit, I don't win. But I feel like in a tournament,
you're kind of gambling.
I'm enjoying myself. I'm for that. That's entertainment. But I want to focus a little bit more on some tournaments. So I want to do that. Plus, down in Texas, once I get to kind of travel back down towards Paramount. So Paramount, shout out. They do a ton of PLO tournaments, like a ton, like weekly tournaments. There's a weekly tournament. It's a round of each. They call it ROE in Texas, round of each. Which you and I had this weird conversation a while ago. I was like, ROE, is that like the ROE of horse?
Right, like Raz,
Omaha, 8 or better, which actually sounded like I was like super excited about playing. And then they're like, oh, it's just No Limit Hold'em and PLO. Like, I like those too, so that's fine. Anything I can get away from No Limit, I'm fine. But I mean, Paramount does a $20 rebuy ROE tournament, which is just gross. It's just like it's the early bird on steroids. Like, it is the craziest tournament. It's a $20 buy-in, and the prize pool is typically at like $3K. 2,000 is a bad night. Good night.
Oh,
it's a $3K.
awesome.
It's a $3K prize pool, and it's a $20. Now, granted, you're probably ripping 4 or 5 entries into that thing, but who cares? Like, it's a 5-table tournament, PLO, half round of half no limit.
Right, and some guys run up stacks and only have to buy it once.
Dude, it's nuts. Like, could you imagine? Even if you got in that I'd be up to 5 bullets, no problem, maybe more. Like, first place on a 5-table tournament with a $3K prize pool, like, that's legit.
Yeah, it's like $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome, and you get to play PLO. But anyways, some of the other clubs, and I won't say their names because they're not sponsors yet. Although I am reaching out to them to let them know that they should sponsor us.
Nice.
Dude, there's one club that does like $120 PLO freeze out, I think, which is like very difficult for PLO players. But that's like a 5K guarantee.
Yeah, like a 5K guarantee.
Now, granted,
that's amazing.
It's a $120 buy-in versus plus an add-on, plus a dealer bonus. All the bullshit probably costs you $150 by the time you're done. There is an add-on at break. So it's a little bit, it's really more like a $200 tournament.
Sure.
With a 5K min prize pool. So I don't really know the turnouts on those. I mean,
but it's a freeze out, so you don't have the guys going crazy. And
yeah, I mean,
it's just a different style.
It's a different style. So, like, I think one of my like goals or resolutions, or one of the things I want to do for 21 is I want to, as a player, I want to play more PLO tournaments. Which also brings me to the promotion side, the CCG side. The flip side of Ken, non-player wise. I would like to do a PLO tournament at CCG, like a weekly PLO tournament. I want to get people into playing PLO. I feel like it's the new game. It's what people should be playing. It would reignite some people's excitement for playing poker, because I feel like a lot of people feel like me. You just get a little bored playing No Limit all the time.
I was bored playing No Limit.
Yeah, you and I are in the same boat on that. Like, neither one of us are really excited by No Limit. We play because we can. So I feel like if you can do the half and half tournaments, those HA tournaments or ROE tournaments is what they call them in Texas. Like, I think that would be cool. Like just that $20 rebuy tournament. Like, I think we can get the same type of idea. Like, maybe that should be the new Saturday night tournament. Right?
I agree.
I mean, that's a fun tournament.
Maybe Friday or Sunday, so I can be there.
Yeah, there you go. One of those two. So that's it. So, and then one other. So I would like to get a PLO style tournament at CCG on a weekly basis. I want to play more PLO tournaments, and I would like to get just mixed games in general. I want to get a mixed games something.
Yeah,
going.
it just seems would
it's
be
so hard.
Nice. It is hard, and it's a small niche of guys.
It's not a big market, right?
But the thing is there's 3 guys in the room that will play if the other 5 guys show up. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to get 5 guys in the room, and then you have a full game.
Right. And playing like, even if you just do like short deck or something. I was scrolling through or YouTube, limits. And I was like, man, short deck looks so much fun. And then you never get to play.
It's just hard. It's just hard to get people out of what they've been doing for so long.
Yeah.
And pitch a new game type to them and to play for actual money. And anybody will sit online and play short deck for 10 cents, 20 cents because they can only lose $20. And okay, cool. But you got to get them to drive to CCG.
It's a learning experience, yeah.
Right. And you're going to have to maybe lose $500 to learn.
3-6.
And then,
I mean, yeah.
Minimum and then the people 100. That lose are like, that sucked. I'm not doing that again.
Right. It's a hard game to kind of keep going, and it's difficult.
Yeah, it's hard to sell.
All right, quickly, Brando, what are yours?
Well, since we had this goal in 2020 and we bricked, even though we had 4 chances at it, play the main event in 2021. We had 4 chances to play it in 2020.
That was something that you and I said that we were going to do this year.
It is. So that is going to be back on my radar.
Yep, I agree. I would like to do that as well.
I need to make a actual poker trip, not your 2-day business trip. I need to go down to Texas for like a week or 2.
Dude, it's nuts.
And just fire.
It's so cool.
Just bring some actual money and go see if you can run it up, because I've really seen so much success stories of people playing in like traveling and playing in a game they don't normally play in. They just like crush because nobody knows who they are, and then like, I don't know. I always see everybody doing it.
I'm a winning player in Texas, so yeah, like there's something to be said about that. Like, noob, you don't really know. You can kind of play whatever part you want to play, which you normally can't do at CCG because everybody knows you, or in your case, the horseshoe, which is where you normally play.
Correct. And it's just nice to not see the same faces and like be able to you can be with whoever you want to be. It's just, I'm excited for that. And I've heard the games are insane.
They are. And just on a side note, I think that idea of like the poker trip is super fun because it's like every day, all day long. And you got to go with somebody else, right? Because you got to have like a partner in crime to like split the cost with and talk about. But it's like, you play all day, you play all night, you wake up in the morning, you go to breakfast, you talk about hands, you recap what happened with this was a good play. So it's like,
oh, what are we going to play today?
Yeah, it's like a 4 or 5 day, like half poker training, coaching, and you get to play and you're in a whole new environment. Like that really sounds like a ton of fun to me to like have that kind of experience. And I think that's what people get when they go to the WSOP, which is why it's such like an incredible like experience in general, because it's like all poker all the time, all you talk about. Like at what point in your life have you gone 5 days where you'd only talk about poker the whole time? Never.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever done that.
Even though it's very similar to me waking up, driving to the Horseshoe, hanging out with Eric, eating lunch, talking about hands, booking a $400 winner, driving home, doing like it's just so different. Even though it's like the same,
because real life gets in the way.
Way different. Yeah, because you
got bills,
there's all the stuff in between. Right. So I'm excited for that. So Texas, got to make a poker trip to Texas. Want to play the main event. I have so much money in playing vouchers that I was supposed to use in 2020 that I have to use in 2021. So I will be traveling a lot in the second half of 2021. Probably going to be going to Europe at the end of next year. Want to play some poker out there too, because they have 4-card, 5-card, 6-card,
crazy town.
One board, 2 boards, 3 boards PLO, and it's the craziest game ever out there in England. So.
Plus, they talk so cool. Hey, pip pip cheerio, Brandon. Would you like to run it 5 times at once?
Crazy loud American. So
and you get 6 cards. What? You want to run it 4 boards and I get 6 cards? Okay, I don't even know how to play that game, but I'm in. Let's play that game.
So I got a lot of travel on the docket in 2021.
Nice.
Pretty excited about it, which is why I want to be optimistic.
Multi-international poker trips for Brandon.
Yeah, I went Texas, Vegas, Europe.
I think this is the first year I haven't gone. 2020 will be the first time I haven't gone to Vegas at least once in a year.
Yeah.
I normally go at least one time with the missus or something.
Now, my bad beat story is I passed up on going to Vegas in February because I was going to go in March. And then they all came back from February and then the world shut down.
Right.
And I was like, I'm not going to go in February. Like, we're going to go 4 weeks later. Like, it'll be better.
And you said March Madness, typical March Madness in Vegas is like crazy town fun.
So I'm holding out this small little glimmer of hope that the world can be back to normal semi-ly by March Madness and I could go this year. But I just think the timing is going to be so close to not happening.
I think it'll happen. It might happen like the NBA. If that's a possibility, they might be able to come up with some kind of bubble, but it's so much harder.
There's a bubble already. No, all the games are in Indianapolis.
Oh, there is.
So I'm saying the NCAA tournament's going to happen. I'm saying for me to feel comfortable to go to Vegas and live life normally, and actually, like, if Vegas is going to be back in March, I think it's just a little bit too soon. Like, I think if it was April, at the end of April or May, so my first goal was to actually go for March Madness this year, but I think I'm just going to back that up and go for the WSOP in May.
Nice.
And June. So, yeah,
I hope
pretty
I get
excited.
to go with you.
Pretty excited.
Well, that was our episode 37, 2021 predictions from Brandon and Ken. Crazy town. Can you imagine if anybody would have asked you that this is the year that we would have had, that you would have been like, all right, everybody in America is going to be wearing masks, staying in their houses, bars and restaurants will be closed, casinos will not be open, Vegas will shut down. I would have said, no way. Not in a million years could that happen.
Yeah, Bitcoin was going to be 3,200. Now it's 29K.
Yeah, boy.
Anyways, on to brighter things.
On to brighter pastures. Well, Happy New Year's, everybody. Hopefully you're listening to this tomorrow, which is New Year's Day, the first day of 2021. So we will be 100% ready for you guys. The new plan for the overlay is to release 2 episodes a month, the first and the third Friday of every single month. We are guaranteeing that we will have a podcast episode for you. We are also going to try to do like 6 to 8 bonus episodes as well. So again, if you guys have any like ideas on episodes, if your buddy wrote a poker book and you want us to talk about it, we'd be happy to see what it's like. I mean, seriously, we're going to run out of stuff to say. We're already getting close now, so we'll kind of basically do whatever you guys want to do.
I mean, what are we going to do after COVID?
I don't know.
This year, all we talked about was COVID.
COVID. So the only bonus
Vaccine,
things of
masks.
COVID, we did start a podcast because of it.
That is true.
I mean,
that is true.
Prince Harry and Meghan are coming out with the podcast this year just because of COVID. So I'm excited for that to drop. I'm not going to listen to that.
There's silver linings in how
There's
this
a few.
might not be the worst year. I do want to leave you with a tweet that I saw the other day.
Nice.
And you said that 2020, it couldn't be any worse than 2021.
Mm-hmm.
This dude tweeted and he was just like, what if 2020 is the best year of the decade? And I was like, whoa.
Yeah. It was funny. I saw a meme where it was like a picture of Prince Joffrey from Game of Thrones, and it was like 2020, and then underneath it was a picture of Ramsay, and it said 2021.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my God. Because when we were thinking about Joffrey, we're like, that guy's the worst guy that could ever post. This is the worst. And then we actually found out what bad is like.
Yep.
And it's not. We have not seen bad yet. So hopefully,
Joffrey seems kind of normal.
He's a cupcake. Well, thank you for listening. Hit that subscribe button. Share us with your poker playing friends or your political friends if you have any of those for today. Let us know. We'd be happy to do so. If you happen to talk to a fortune teller, you want to send this out to her as well. That would be cool.
Pound the Seahawks. Pound the Seahawks.
Pound the Seahawks. Pound the White Sox. Pound the Lakers. It's all on Brandon. He guarantees all bets are winners. We will see you next time, folks. Bye, everybody.